brand started, I was stationed in Korea. And when I was stationed in Korea, we used to go on tours of a lot of factories. And one of the first factories was a Samsung, how Samsung makes TVs. And it started off on a conveyor belt. It was a small chip. And so I watched the chip in 7.8 minutes turn into a TV, shipped in a box, out the door. And so the next week there was a tour of a shoe company. And so I went on the tour of the shoe company and I started seeing Nikes, Adidas, all these other shoe companies coming out. And I was like, wow, that's where the shoes are made. Being a guy that was into sports, I was sort of like gravitated towards, and I wanted to find more information. I was like, okay, now how is a shoe designed? Who's making the shoe? You know, what's the profitability of a shoe industry? And then I did a lot of research, and that led me to, once I got out the service, doing more investigation. And I found this book on the creation of Nike. And that was like my world for a whole year. And I just studied the book and figured out how can I do what this guy did. And that's kind of how I started the brand. From there, it was just a thinking process of coming up with a name. And it's been a long journey from that process to right now. One of the things that was very important for several shoe companies is the most important thing that they try to do in the beginning of their infancy is make the name mean sports. So for me, when I was trying to come up with a name, I tried to choose a name that already meant sports. It meant you were doing something already. So balling in essence is already doing something. Like, you know, you're a photographer, right? If you're doing your job, you're balling. So it doesn't matter what element of your life, if you're doing it well, you're balling. So I knew that that would be a name that would be catchy. Most people get in business to make money. Okay, this is the world we live in. We have to make money. You have to be profitable. We're trying to have a profitable company. But for me, the number one goal is giving back to the community that I grew up in. You know, I grew up in South Side Chicago, and there used to always be parks to go play. There was always somebody there. If we wanted to go to the park and rent out some baseball bats or get a basketball, or there was always somebody at the gym or the park where we played. Nowadays, you go to that same park, there's nobody there. You know, it's locked up. So my goal is to be able to bring those parks back to life. And if I know these kids are running around in ball and shoes and we're making money, then it'll be my obligation to make sure those parks are open. And not just the parks, but the school system. Yeah, in the ball and shoe, we have a technology that's awesome right now. It's called D3O, and it comes in the heel and the counter of the shoe. And basically what it does in a nutshell, it basically gives you support when you land and joint protection. So as far as when you're landing, you're going to feel much more superior comfort versus typical EVA that's in the typical basketball shoe. So our shoe actually has D3O on the bottom, so as you're landing, you're going to have that cushioning effect along with support. D3O was introduced to us from our sourcing company, and they work with a UK company that developed the D3O technology. Right now it's been used in the Olympics in 2006, the Alpine Ski Team USA and the Canadian team. They use it in all of their apparel, so for protection. And the reason why they chose D3O because it's lighter weight with superior protection. We have a great team of, I sit in I call it think room, and we sit there and we just throw different ideas out. So this shoe came from about 3 different inspirations. It's almost like 3 different people at the same time designed this shoe. And so we wanted to make sure that each one of us had a different idea, and then we tried to put those 3 worlds together. And that's how we came in with the layup. And then the All Out was just a shoe that we wanted to make a standard basic shoe that, you know, it works with your jeans, it works off the court as well as on the court.